$647,892.31. That exact number is seared into my memory, like a brand across my soul. Not 647,000 or almost 650K, but $647,892.31, down to the last way. That's how much my business partner Marcus Rivera systematically emptied from our DeFi yield vault while sitting beside me in our shared Austin co-working space. The familiar hum of cooling fans mixing with the metallic click of mechanical keyboards as he explained why our quarterly smart contract audit showed temporary liquidity rebalancing instead of the steady 18% API we'd been earning for 16 months of disciplined DeFi farming. The bitter taste of betrayal coated my tongue like copper pennies as I watched him adjust his new Richard Mille watch while discussing our protocol optimization strategy with the kind of smooth technical confidence that comes from years of practiced deception in the cryptocurrency space. The smell of expensive coffee and ozone from overheated GPUs filled my nostrils, while Marcus thought he was manipulating some blockchain developer who understood yield farming mechanics but wouldn't scrutinize smart contract transaction logs or governance proposal histories. He had no idea he was stealing from Robert Hayes, a smart contract security auditor who'd spent 18 years developing vulnerability detection systems for the FBI cybercrime division, someone who'd audited over 340 DeFi protocols and helped recover $11.8 billion in exploited funds through formal verification and automated exploit detection under 18 U.S.C. 1030. He sat there in his $4,000 off-white hoodie, AirPods Pro gleaming against his ears, absolutely convinced he'd found the perfect victim for his sophisticated smart contract manipulation, while my life savings flowed into his personal multi-signature wallets through carefully crafted governance proposals designed to avoid automated security monitoring. What Marcus didn't know was that every DeFi transaction creates an immutable audit trail that violates federal computer fraud statutes, and I know how to trace those smart contract interactions through federal court testimony better than anyone in cybercrime enforcement. I'm Robert Hayes, and watching Marcus sip his $12 oat milk cortado while explaining yield optimization through algorithmic rebalancing, as my retirement fund disappeared into a smart contract money laundering network, I felt something I rarely experience in my professional investigations: the cold, methodical fury that precedes complete technical destruction. The afternoon sunlight streaming through our floor-to-ceiling windows felt warm against my face, but ice water was flowing through my veins as I realized the scope of his systematic DeFi fraud. In 9 weeks, Marcus would be standing in handcuffs before a federal computer crimes judge, watching his cryptocurrency empire crumble in real time, while prosecutors read charges under 18 U.S.C. 1030 for computer fraud and 18 U.S.C. 1956 for money laundering DeFi proceeds. And I would be the expert witness whose smart contract forensic analysis destroyed his defense and sent him to federal prison for 27 years with no possibility of parole before serving 85% of his sentence. What would you do if your trusted business partner systematically emptied your DeFi vault while looking you in the eye and lying about algorithmic rebalancing? Drop your country flag in the comments because I want to understand how DeFi fraud operates in different regulatory environments around the world. The partnership began 20 months earlier when Marcus approached me at ETH Denver, his voice carrying that perfect blend of technical sophistication and entrepreneurial enthusiasm that separates legitimate opportunities from obvious scams in the DeFi space. Robert, I've been following your presentations on smart contract security auditing for federal agencies, and I think we should discuss scaling institutional-grade yield farming operations using advanced risk management protocols, he said, somehow knowing exactly how much Ethereum and stablecoins I'd accumulated through my government consulting work. His research was impressive and slightly unsettling, demonstrating knowledge of my professional background, DeFi farming timeline, and even specific protocol positions I'd built across Compound, Aave, and Yearn Finance over several years. When I asked how he'd obtained such detailed information, Marcus laughed warmly and explained that successful DeFi farmers often appear on on-chain analytics platforms that sophisticated operators monitor for potential partnership opportunities. His technical setup occupied a premium corner of Austin's blockchain co-working hub, with multiple 4K monitors displaying real-time DeFi analytics, smart contract interaction dashboards, and yield optimization algorithms that screamed institutional legitimacy to anyone walking through the collaborative space. The walls displayed framed screenshots of successful governance proposals, photographs of Marcus speaking at DeFi conferences, and printed smart contract audit reports from protocols that had generated millions in total value locked. His workspace featured a custom mechanical keyboard that clicked like typewriter keys, professional microphone setup for DeFi education content, and multiple ledger hardware wallets secured in a fireproof safe, creating an atmosphere of serious technical sophistication that immediately put potential partners at ease. Everything about the environment suggested deep DeFi expertise backed by systematic risk management and professional operational security. Marcus's DeFi strategy initially seemed conservative and intelligent, focusing on blue-chip protocol yield farming through automated position management using Aave v3 lending markets, Curve Finance liquidity pools, and Uniswap v3 concentrated liquidity positions. "We're not chasing experimental protocols or vampire attacks," he explained during our first formal partnership meeting, sliding detailed spreadsheets across projected yields, impermanent loss calculations, and smart contract security scores from Certic and Consensus Diligence. "Your FBI cybersecurity background gives you an edge in understanding protocol risks, but scaling DeFi requires institutional discipline and automated position management through battle-tested smart contracts." He recommended pooling our individual DeFi positions under a shared multi-signature vault contract he developed, promising enhanced yields through MEV protection, professional management through on-chain governance, and gas optimization strategies that individual farmers couldn't access independently. The first red flag appeared 7 months later, during my routine quarterly smart contract audit. A subtle discrepancy that my FBI vulnerability detection training immediately flagged as suspicious. Our vault dashboard showed consistent positions across Compound v3, Aave v3, and Curve Tri-Crypto pools totaling $647,892 in deposited capital, but on-chain analysis using Etherscan revealed systematic withdrawals to addresses not listed in our partnership's multi-signature configuration. The difference was substantial, approximately $134,000 in missing liquidity over 90 days, representing over 20% of our total deposited capital. When I questioned Marcus about the unauthorized withdrawals, his explanation was smooth and technically plausible. "Automated MEV protection and flash loan arbitrage," he said, adjusting his blue light glasses with practiced nonchalance. "We're using Flashbots bundles and private mempools for MEV-resistant transaction routing that requires temporary position rebalancing, and some yields get optimized through cross-protocol liquidity mining strategies on Layer 2 networks." But I'd reviewed our partnership smart contract code carefully using Slither and Mithril analysis tools, and there were no flash loan functions or MEV protection mechanisms in our vault implementation. That evening in my home office, surrounded by the familiar glow of multiple monitors and the smell of fresh coffee, I began what I do best: auditing smart contracts using Foundry, Hardhat, and my proprietary FBI vulnerability detection tools. What I discovered made my stomach drop like a stone through water. The smart contract analysis revealed Marcus's true criminal sophistication, a DeFi fraud operation that exploited governance mechanisms to hide systematic theft through hidden administrative privileges. My home office transformed into a digital forensics laboratory, the familiar smell of hot electronics mixing with cold coffee as I worked 18-hour days reverse engineering his entire fraudulent infrastructure. Using Foundry, Hardhat, Slither, and proprietary FBI vulnerability detection tools I'd helped develop for federal cybercrime prosecutions, I traced not just the missing $134,000, but systematic theft spanning our entire 20-month partnership through malicious smart contract functions disguised as legitimate protocol optimizations. The pattern was methodical, patient, and devastating. Marcus had been exploiting hidden backdoor functions in our vault contract while generating completely fabricated yield reports showing normal DeFi farming returns. The technical breakthrough came when I decompiled our vault's bytecode using Foundry's Forge Verify and my FBI reverse engineering toolkit. What appeared to be a standard multi-signature DeFi vault contained sophisticated backdoor functions labeled innocuously as emergency rebalance and protocol maintenance that only Marcus could trigger through a separate admin wallet he'd never disclosed during our partnership formation. Each backdoor execution followed an identical pattern. Funds moved from our legitimate Compound V3 and Aave V3 positions to a contract I labeled Rivera Drain 01 in my forensic analysis. Then systematically split across 47 different Ethereum addresses using automated smart contracts that triggered every 12 hours to avoid pattern detection by Chainalysis and other on-chain analytics platforms. Cross-referencing withdrawal patterns with Marcus's cached social media posts revealed damning correlation between his luxury lifestyle upgrades and specific vault drainage events. That $134,000 in missing liquidity had funded his new Tesla Model S Plaid and Austin penthouse lease, the LinkedIn celebration about scaling institutional DeFi operations appearing 2 days after major withdrawals cleared from our vault contract through his hidden admin functions. I analyzed the governance proposal history using Snapshot and Tally Analytics, discovering Marcus had submitted 17 emergency maintenance proposals that I'd blindly approved based on his technical explanations, each one granting additional administrative privileges that expanded his theft capabilities while maintaining the illusion of legitimate protocol upgrades. Using Slither static analysis and Mithril symbolic execution, I discovered the governance manipulation was even more sophisticated than simple backdoor functions. Marcus had implemented a proxy upgrade pattern where he could temporarily delegate vault control to a separate rebalancer contract, execute unauthorized withdrawals, then restore the original implementation pointer so that casual on-chain analysis would show no permanent changes to our vault's logic. The stolen funds flowed through a carefully orchestrated laundering network, 68% to centralized exchanges through privacy-enhanced withdrawal addresses, 22% to Tornado Cash mixers on Ethereum mainnet, and the remaining 10% to cross-chain bridges flowing to Polygon and Arbitrum networks where Marcus maintained separate DeFi positions funded entirely by our stolen capital. But the hardest part was telling Sarah everything. I found her in our kitchen reviewing our daughter Emma's Stanford application essays, the familiar sounds of family college planning creating a domestic soundtrack that felt surreal given what I was about to destroy. The smell of dinner preparation filled the air, making my stomach turn as I approached with my laptop displaying evidence of our financial ruin. When I showed her the smart contract analysis proving our DeFi vault had been systematically drained through hidden administrative functions, color drained from her face like water flowing from a broken dam. Her hands trembled as she gripped the counter, voice barely a whisper. All of it? Everything we put into the yield farming? The sound of her quiet sob cut deeper than any physical pain I'd ever experienced, the metallic taste of betrayal coating my mouth like copper pennies. The next morning brought Emma's innocent question about her computer science program deposit, her bright voice untainted by the financial storm brewing around us. "Dad, is the DeFi vault still covering my tuition like we planned?" That moment crystallized everything. I looked at Sarah, my voice steady despite the tremor in my hands. Yes, everything will be fine. Marcus picked the wrong person to steal from. The promise tasted like steel in my mouth, transforming devastation into diamond-hard determination fueled by 18 years of FBI cybercrime investigation experience. I leveraged my professional network directly rather than wasting time with conventional law enforcement routes that wouldn't understand smart contract complexity. As a security auditor who developed vulnerability detection systems for the FBI Cybercrime Division, I had direct relationships with federal prosecutors, computer crime specialists, and blockchain forensics teams across multiple districts. I drafted comprehensive preservation letters citing 18 U.S.C. 1030 for computer fraud and 18 U.S.C. 2703 for electronic evidence preservation, placing every DeFi protocol, centralized exchange, and cross-chain bridge on formal notice to preserve transaction logs, smart contract interaction data, and wallet addresses tied to Marcus's fraudulent operations. Using secure communications, I located 3 other DeFi farmers who'd partnered with Marcus through similar vault arrangements: a retired Google engineer, a cryptocurrency hedge fund manager, and a blockchain startup founder whose Series A funding had been professionally managed through Marcus's DeFi strategies. Each had seen the same governance proposals, the same emergency maintenance explanations, the same reassuring yield reports. Their on-chain analysis revealed identical theft patterns through hidden smart contract backdoors. I organized a secure evidence repository with their consent, normalized their transaction flows to my forensic model, and the pattern expanded. Another $1.8 million systematically stolen using identical smart contract manipulation techniques across multiple victims. The breakthrough came through careful investigation of Marcus's operational security vulnerabilities. I discovered his junior developer, Alex Chen, had been deploying smart contract updates using the same hardware wallet that accessed Marcus's personal DeFi positions on Uniswap and 1inch. I met Alex at a coffee shop that smelled like espresso and nervous energy, sliding a notarized affidavit across the table along with a federal subpoena draft. He read silently, then whispered, "Marcus said the backdoor functions were for emergency fund protection during protocol exploits. I never questioned the administrative privilege escalation." Alex signed, then provided the private GitHub repository containing our vault's complete source code, including comments where Marcus literally wrote, "Hayes won't audit bytecode. His FBI background makes him overconfident in surface-level contract review," along with detailed documentation of every backdoor function and systematic theft mechanism he'd implemented. That evening, while reviewing my evidence compilation, I received a call from FBI Cybercrime Division requesting an urgent meeting. My comprehensive smart contract forensics had triggered immediate federal attention. Marcus Rivera was about to learn that stealing from an FBI smart contract auditor carries consequences measured in decades of federal prison time. I leveraged my professional network directly rather than wasting time with conventional law enforcement routes that wouldn't understand smart contract complexity. As a security auditor who developed vulnerability detection systems for the FBI Cybercrime Division, I had direct relationships with federal prosecutors, computer crime specialists, and blockchain forensics teams across multiple districts. I drafted comprehensive preservation letters citing 18 U.S.C. 1030 for computer fraud and 18 U.S.C. 2703 for electronic evidence preservation, placing every DeFi protocol, centralized exchange, and cross-chain bridge on formal notice to preserve transaction logs, smart contract interaction data, and wallet addresses tied to Marcus's fraudulent operations. Using secure communications, I located 3 other DeFi farmers who'd partnered with Marcus through similar vault arrangements: a retired Google engineer, a cryptocurrency hedge fund manager, and a blockchain startup founder whose Series A funding had been professionally managed through Marcus's DeFi strategies. Each had seen the same governance proposals, the same emergency maintenance explanations, the same reassuring yield reports. Their on-chain analysis revealed identical theft patterns through hidden smart contract backdoors. I organized a secure evidence repository with their consent, normalized their transaction flows to my forensic model, and the pattern expanded. Another $1.8 million systematically stolen using identical smart contract manipulation techniques across multiple victims. The breakthrough came through careful investigation of Marcus's operational security vulnerabilities. I discovered his junior developer, Alex Chen, had been deploying smart contract updates using the same hardware wallet that accessed Marcus's personal DeFi positions on Uniswap and 1inch. I met Alex at a coffee shop that smelled like espresso and nervous energy, sliding a notarized affidavit across the table along with a federal subpoena draft. He read silently, then whispered,
Marcus said the backdoor functions were for emergency fund protection during protocol exploits. I never questioned the administrative privilege escalation. Alex signed, then provided the private GitHub repository containing our vault's complete source code, including comments where Marcus literally wrote, "Hayes won't audit bytecode. His FBI background makes him overconfident in surface-level contract review," along with detailed documentation of every backdoor function and systematic theft mechanism he'd implemented. That evening, while reviewing my evidence compilation, I received a call from FBI Cybercrime Division requesting an urgent meeting.
The FBI cybercrime investigation revealed Marcus's complete criminal infrastructure, a sophisticated DeFi fraud operation that exploited smart contract governance mechanisms to hide systematic theft across multiple victim partnerships. My home office transformed into a federal digital forensics command center, the familiar smell of hot electronics mixing with cold coffee as I worked around the clock, coordinating with FBI Cybercrime Division analysts. Using Foundry, Slither, Mithril, and proprietary vulnerability detection systems I'd helped develop for federal computer fraud prosecutions, I traced not just my stolen $647,892, but systematic theft spanning 27 months across multiple DeFi partnerships. The pattern was methodical, patient, and devastating. Marcus had been operating a criminal enterprise targeting sophisticated cryptocurrency developers with substantial protocol positions seeking professional yield optimization through shared vault contracts. The technical breakthrough came when I decompiled our vault's complete bytecode using advanced static analysis tools. What appeared to be a standard multi-signature DeFi vault contained sophisticated backdoor functions labeled innocuously as emergency rebalance and protocol maintenance that only Marcus could trigger through separate admin wallets he'd never disclosed. Each theft followed identical patterns. Funds moved from legitimate Compound v3 and Aave v3 positions through hidden proxy delegate call functions, then systematically split across 47 Ethereum addresses using automated contracts triggering every 12 hours to avoid chainalysis pattern detection. Cross-referencing withdrawal patterns with Marcus's cached social media revealed damning correlation between luxury purchases and specific vault drainage events. My $647,892 had funded his Tesla Model S Plaid and Austin penthouse lease. The LinkedIn celebration about scaling institutional DeFi operations appearing 3 days after major withdrawals cleared through his hidden administrative functions. Using my FBI network and federal cybercrime contacts, I began identifying other victims whose DeFi positions had vanished into Marcus's sophisticated smart contract fraud operation. Within 72 hours of coordinated outreach through encrypted communications, I'd connected with 21 confirmed victims across 8 states who'd lost amounts ranging from $185,000 to $1.2 million. Dr. Patricia Martinez, a blockchain researcher from MIT, had invested $890,000 in Marcus's institutional yield optimization vault, only to discover the underlying smart contracts contained systematic theft mechanisms disguised as legitimate protocol maintenance functions. James Patterson, a former Ethereum Foundation developer, lost $645,000 after Marcus convinced him that individual DeFi farming carried excessive smart contract risks for high-net-worth cryptocurrency holders seeking professional management. Together, we built what federal prosecutors call a victim coalition, creating a comprehensive database documenting Marcus's crimes totaling over $7.2 million across 21 confirmed DeFi partnerships. Each new victim added federal counts under 18 U.S.C. 1030 computer fraud statutes, transforming individual theft into a cybercrime RICO case demanding prosecutorial attention at the highest levels. The pattern was consistent. Marcus specifically targeted sophisticated DeFi farmers and blockchain developers with substantial protocol positions, exploiting their technical knowledge to bypass normal skepticism about shared vault arrangements through carefully crafted governance proposals and emergency maintenance explanations.
Special Agent Jennifer Walsh from FBI Cybercrime Division listened without interruption as I presented my smart contract forensics analysis in a secure conference room that smelled like government coffee and classified electronics. The evidence binder contained blockchain transaction flows, victim testimonies, and Alex Chen's cooperation agreement providing internal Rivera DeFi management documents. Agent Walsh examined my clustering analysis showing how Marcus's smart contract network had processed over $7.2 million in stolen DeFi assets, then activated secure communications with Department of Justice Computer Crime Section for parallel prosecution under federal cybercrime statutes and money laundering charges. The operational breakthrough came through Alex Chen's continued cooperation and a sophisticated technical trap I designed using FBI resources. Alex provided internal GitHub commits showing Marcus literally implementing backdoor functions while commenting, "Hayes' audit focus on surface-level functions, hidden admin privileges in proxy implementation safe from standard review." Meanwhile, I deployed a Sentinel monitoring system that instrumented every administrative call to our Vault contract, streaming real-time alerts to Chainalysis KYT rules and FBI monitoring systems. The trap was elegant. I submitted a governance proposal for gas optimization that would trigger Marcus's theft instincts while secretly replacing his backdoor implementation with my instrumented version. The pressure mounted as Marcus made increasingly desperate moves, oblivious that his every on-chain action was being tracked by federal resources. He attempted deploying a new DeFi protocol called Institutional Yield, marketing military-grade smart contract security while federal agencies coordinated his takedown. I immediately flagged the new protocol to major DeFi platforms through my professional network, triggering security warnings that prevented new victims from depositing funds. His desperation was becoming obvious to anyone monitoring his operational patterns. Federal warrants were coordinated across multiple jurisdictions simultaneously. Agent Walsh called with news that made my pulse quicken. DOJ Criminal Division executes arrest warrant Tuesday morning with coordinated asset seizures across 3 states. Intelligence shows he's attempting emergency vault liquidation tonight through cross-chain bridges. I stared at my evidence wall, red pins marking every smart contract, every victim, every hidden backdoor function Marcus had constructed over 27 months of systematic DeFi fraud. My monitoring alerts were primed to trigger the moment he touched any administrative function, automatically freezing his exit routes through exchange preservation orders we'd coordinated in advance. His smart contracts can't hide from FBI blockchain analysis, I said, tasting victory like ozone before a thunderstorm. Every function call is permanently recorded on-chain, and we're watching everything. Marcus Rivera was about to learn that stealing from an FBI smart contract auditor carries consequences measured in decades of federal prison time.
The trap closed on Marcus Rivera at 5:34 a.m. on Tuesday morning, exactly 114 days after he'd systematically emptied my $647,892 from our DeFi vault. I was monitoring FBI blockchain surveillance alerts in my home office, the familiar aroma of strong coffee mixing with anticipation, when my Sentinel monitoring system triggered the alert I'd engineered. Admin call detected from Marcus's hidden wallet executing the emergency rebalance function. My instrumented smart contract replacement captured every function call in real time, streaming transaction data directly to FBI monitoring systems while Marcus remained oblivious that his backdoor exploitation was being recorded for federal court. Within 60 seconds, preservation orders hit exchanges across 3 continents, freezing his exit routes as Chainalysis KYT rules flagged every outbound transfer. Special Agent Jennifer Walsh's text arrived as his final theft attempt failed at the exchange layer. Austin, package secured, smart contract evidence preserved. Marcus was in federal custody, arrested at his penthouse as agents photographed hardware wallets and deployment keys scattered across his standing desk like evidence of systematic computer fraud. The federal indictment was a cybercrime prosecutor's masterpiece. 71 counts of computer fraud under 18 U.S.C. 1030, 34 counts of money laundering under 18 U.S.C. 1956, 26 counts of wire fraud, and 18 counts of conspiracy. Marcus was facing 38 to 43 years under federal sentencing guidelines with no possibility of parole before serving 85%. The asset seizure was swift and comprehensive, executed through coordinated FBI cyber forensics and DOJ criminal forfeiture. Within hours, federal marshals had frozen $7.2 million across 63 cryptocurrency wallets, seized his Austin penthouse and Tesla Model S Plaid, and impounded luxury watches and computer equipment purchased with stolen DeFi proceeds. The cryptocurrency seizures were even more satisfying. Coordinated teams recovered 2,147 Ethereum, 890,000 USDC, and over $3.1 million in various DeFi protocol tokens from smart contracts Marcus thought were protected by proxy implementation complexity and cross-chain obfuscation. The media coverage was explosive and immediate. Marcus's mugshot appeared on every major cryptocurrency news outlet within hours, his polished DeFi entrepreneur image completely destroyed. Austin DeFi developer arrested in $7.2 million smart contract fraud scheme, screamed headlines across CoinDesk, The Block, and blockchain security publications. Local news stations ran footage of federal agents carrying boxes of evidence from his penthouse, while former partners demanded answers about their missing funds. His GitHub repositories were immediately flagged with security warnings, and Rivera DeFi Management smart contracts were placed under FBI forensic analysis to facilitate victim restitution through proper legal channels. The federal trial lasted 19 days, though the outcome felt inevitable from opening statements. I testified for 14 hours across 6 days, walking federal jurors through my smart contract analysis with methodical precision while prosecutors displayed blockchain transaction flows and decompiled bytecode on courtroom screens. The prosecution used my forensic work as their case foundation, showing how each theft had been executed through hidden administrative functions disguised as legitimate protocol maintenance, concealed through sophisticated proxy implementation patterns, and coordinated while victims received completely fabricated yield reports. Marcus's defense strategy was pathetic, claiming he'd been a legitimate DeFi developer who implemented emergency protection mechanisms that were misunderstood by less technical partners. During cross-examination, his attorney tried painting me as a biased partner seeking revenge rather than objective expert testimony. "Mr. Hayes," he said with false concern, "isn't it true you lost substantial cryptocurrency investments and coordinated this FBI investigation out of personal animosity?" I looked him directly in the eye, then addressed the jury with calm precision. "My analysis is based on immutable blockchain data and 18 years of FBI smart contract security auditing, not personal feelings. The evidence shows Mr. Rivera implemented systematic backdoor functions, proxy manipulation techniques, and governance fraud mechanisms while generating completely fabricated DeFi yield reports." I concluded with calculated emphasis. Smart contracts create permanent records of every function call and administrative action. Mr. Rivera's entire criminal enterprise is documented through blockchain transaction logs that cannot be altered, disputed, or explained away by claims of emergency protection mechanisms. The jury deliberated less than 5 hours, returning guilty verdicts on all 71 counts. When the foreman read "guilty" for the first time, Marcus's shoulders sagged like a deflating smart contract losing gas. By the 60th guilty verdict, he was staring at his hands while his cybercrime defense team whispered desperate consolations about appeals and sentencing mitigation. The sentencing hearing 6 months later was my moment of complete vindication. Judge Patricia Williams listened to victim impact statements from 21 people whose DeFi investments Marcus had destroyed through systematic smart contract manipulation. When my turn came, I looked directly at Marcus and spoke words I'd rehearsed. "Your Honor, the defendant weaponized advanced smart contract knowledge and FBI-level technical expertise to commit unprecedented computer fraud.
He didn't just steal cryptocurrency, he destroyed retirement security, startup funding, and financial independence while hiding behind legitimate DeFi development credentials and technical sophistication. This represents calculated predatory behavior targeting the most knowledgeable cryptocurrency developers seeking professional yield optimization through trusted partnership arrangements. Marcus wouldn't meet my eyes, staring at the defense table while his shoulders shook. Judge Williams sentenced him to 41 years in federal prison with no parole possibility before serving 85%. Full restitution of $7.2 million plus computer fraud penalties. Lifetime ban from blockchain development and cryptocurrency services. Forfeiture of all assets purchased with stolen DeFi proceeds. When federal marshals led Marcus away in shackles, he finally looked at me one last time. The fear and complete defeat in his eyes was everything I'd hoped to see during those sleepless nights coordinating FBI cybercrime enforcement action. 4 years later, my family had recovered financially through federal restitution and seized asset distributions. Emma graduated from Stanford Computer Science with honors, saying she wants to develop smart contract security systems for federal law enforcement. Marcus Rivera is serving his sentence at USP Coleman, where DeFi fraud carries no blockchain privileges. If someone promises professional DeFi yield optimization through shared vault contracts, remember, smart contracts create permanent records of every administrative action, and FBI auditors never forget backdoor functions.